Now you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWine Radio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk Directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.
Hi, my name is Joe Freeman, winemaker at River Road Family Vineyards and Winery in Sebastopol, California. I'm thrilled to be making wonderful Chardonnay and Pinot Noir from the Green Valley of Russian River Valley, wines from Sonoma County with great elegance and excitement. Thrilled to be presenting wonderfully expressive wines from Sonoma County, California. You can find more about our wines at our website, www.riverroadvineyards.com.
Yet a couple more delicious ideas to be celebrating the end of 2012, beginning of 2013. River Road Family Vineyards and Winery. And they are in Green Valley of Russian River Valley of Sonoma County. That's where they're located. And, you know, when I think of Green Valley, in particular, with conversations I've had with people over the years, what I think of is, well, I want to say it's closer to the ocean, and it's cooler, and therefore brighter acidity, which translates into really wonderful, food-friendly wines. Joining us today on Wine and Dine is Joe Freeman, the winemaker for River Road Family Vineyards and Winery. And they have 3 different tiers of wine under the portfolio: Sonoma County Series Vineyards, Reserve Series Vineyards, and Family Series Vineyards. We're going to focus today on 2 really unusual wines. One especially, and that is a 2012 Nouveau, which was released not too long ago. And you know me, anything with bubbles, and I am there front and center, a Brut. Joe, thank you so very much for joining us today on Wine and Dine. Can we start, if you don't mind, let me ask you a little bit of the history of River Road Family Vineyards and Winery, and really the current owner, because it's so unusual. And I would imagine that's going to change slightly the trajectory of the winery.
Oh, hi, Lynn. This is a great pleasure for me to be with you today. Great lead, and kind of gave some background on who we are right now as a Green Valley winery. So, you know, small enclave in western Russian River Valley in Sonoma County, and you know, I'm a very lucky guy. You know, I get to make wine from some of the best sources of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay in Sonoma County and in the world. So, it's a fun time for us at River Road. We've been under new ownership. Ron Rubin and his wife Pam bought the winery just over a year ago, and we've continued on with the winemaking styles that I had developed over my 8 years at River Road. And now what we're doing is we're trying to introduce more people to these wines.
You've been
great diversity of wines. Yep.
You've been making wine for how many years? You're not a newcomer to this. I mean, 8 years at one property, just in and of itself means that the new owners should really be listening to what you have to say, because you know the source of fruit, you know the region, you know what is capable that you have to work with.
Absolutely, and the one thing that's always a concern when you have a big change in the winery is whether they're going to stay true to what my vision was, and one of the first things that Ron told me was that he loved my wines and he appreciated my winemaking ethic, and the fact that we were able to make these great expressive wines at really good price points, handcrafted from small family-owned grape vineyards in the area, from our estate fruit. All those things really connected with him, and so it's been a great relationship, and we continue to evolve and try to create new wines that fit into what we're looking for as the key to River Road Family Vineyards and Winery.
Now, we're going to focus on the Brut and the Nouveau and one more, but I also want to give people a heads up that if you love old vine Zinfandel, Joe also makes an old vine Zinfandel. And old vine meaning like 50 to 75 years old is the vineyard that you're sourcing?
This actually, these vines were planted in 1925.
Wow.
So yeah, they've got some years behind them, and it's a very cool vineyard. This is Boschetti Vineyard. They're located in Fulton, just north of Santa Rosa, and these old vines, they're head pruned. When you see a picture of an old vine, it's this gnarly trunk with a bunch of short arms sticking off, and it grows in kind of a bush shape when the grapes have leafed out, and these vines are still they still have energy. You walk into this block and you can just see the years on them, but they're vital. They create great fruit with good acidity. I mean, it's Russian River Valley, so it for me, what we're looking for is wines that maybe are not as sweet and jammy and going toward those raisiny characters that you might get in Dry Creek. This is stuff that still has a vibrancy to it, and for a Zinfandel to be such a good food wine, the style that we make is one that I've seen paired with everything from oysters to oysters on the half shell to pasta, and I mean it works with all of these different types of foods. So really fun property, really fun to make the wine off of this, and really fun to see how it evolves with a meal.
Joe, your Russian River Valley Brut from the River Road Family Vineyards and Winery is exceptionally beautifully, ridiculously priced at $21.99 a bottle for classic method, blend of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier. How many months do you age that on the lees, on tirage?
Okay, so yeah, like you said, this is it's the Russian River Valley appellation. So with this, we're taking grapes from two different vineyard sources in Russian River. One of them provides the Chardonnay for us, and the other provides the Pinot Noir and the Pinot Meunier. So we use all three of the classic Brut varietals. This goes it's fermented in stainless steel tanks, and we're trying to maintain a real vibrancy and a freshness to those fruit characteristics. But then what we do is we actually put it down in, we start the secondary fermentation in the bottle. So when, people understand the method champenoise, it's, the fermentation to create all those bubbles and that vibrancy actually happens in the bottle that they're drinking from. And so it's a really cool process, and I've heard your passion for sparkling wine in the past on your shows, and the process is fun for me to make as it is for you and other consumers to drink, because it's elaborate, but it's technical. It allows me to be the scientist and the artist, and be able to really kind of help this wine evolve through the process. And so the time and tirage on this is actually only about 8 months. So what we're doing on that is we're trying to get this wine to develop some of those toasty characteristics that you would get from the bottle aging, but still maintain a real vibrancy of fruit. And so it tends to be 8 months in the bottle before the disgorging, and we do the dosage so that there's just it's right in the kind of the center to upper point of the Brut range for sweetness.
Okay.
Perfect complement to the acidity that's in there.
If people go on to riverroadvineyards.com website and click on the link for the 2012 Nouveau, they're going to be blown away by the color of
Mm-hmm.
and I think everyone listening, me included, when I first heard about this, it's a Nouveau Rosé of Pinot Noir from Russian River Valley. Talk to us about that.
Okay. Yeah, this was great fun for us this year. The one thing that Ron is really bringing to the winery, Ron Rubin, is this energy and this idea that we want to constantly be exploring and developing new wines. And so for 2012, our goal on this was, we saw this vintage developing from spring through early summer and through midsummer, and conditions were just amazing. So, all the growers in Russian River Valley, we were thrilled by what we saw coming, and our thought was, why don't we try to get some wine to the customer, while we're still in 2012, let them get a taste of the excitement and the joy that we saw throughout the growing season this year. So we took the first 4 lots of Pinot Noir that came into the winery, mid-September picks, and we drained off some of the juice into stainless steel fermenters and just captured all of this really pretty strawberry and floral aromas, and the color is just amazingly vibrant. So
it's
we bottled
almost
that up at the end of November, and it's
a Saunier.
It's a Saunier, yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but it's a darker color than I would think of for most Sauniers.
Well, that was, for me, I'd like to make sure that, there are some really beautiful rosés that taste amazing, that have that kind of delicate salmon color. But for me, I want this wine to really speak in all aspects to the beauty of the vintage and the beauty of what we're doing at River Road. And so for me, having that really kind of flashy pink meant that I gave it about 2 days of time on the skins before I racked off that juice.
Oh wow, $14.99 a bottle, and you still have supply to ship to people.
We do have some. It was a very small production. We only did 240 cases.
Okay.
But it was released on the 3rd of December, and we've seen great success with that. Some really great response from people who have tried it, and people who have had Nouveau parties where they've featured this wine.
Oh yeah.
So it's great for the holidays.
Joe, before we run out of time, I want to ask you to expand on one more wine that really caught my eye, and that is your 2011 Hopkins Vineyard Pinot Meunier. You have a standalone Pinot Meunier. Is it 100% Meunier?
It is, yeah. So
Wow.
This is a wine that I've been making for River Road since I started with them in 2004. The Hopkins Vineyard is one of the most important family vineyards that we work with. They provide us Chardonnay, Pinot Meunier, Pinot Noir, and it's actually found in our sparkling wine. So what we've done with this Pinot Meunier is it's to me a wine that always carries a lot of great energy. We pick it 3 times during the course of the harvest. First time we pick this vineyard is for the sparkling wine, and then we'll come back and we'll actually pick first crop Pinot Meunier, which is the primary clusters that you see, as the vines are trellised. And then it'll actually be the very last thing that we harvest also. We'll go in and we'll collect small little second crop clusters throughout the vineyard block. And so for me, it's fun because we actually bring in the Pinot Meunier to the winery first
And last.
lot of the year and the last lot of the year. So those are some of the happiest days that we have during the harvest. And the wine's produced like a Pinot Noir, but is a little more delicate and has some rustic characteristics. A great food wine and an unusual wine that's fun to share.
Joe Freeman, winemaker for River Road Family Vineyards and Winery. Thank you so very much for joining us today on Wine and Dine.
Well, thank you, Lynn. This was great.
Now you can listen to Wine and Dine Radio while shopping at the grocery store or your neighborhood wine merchant. Wine and Dine Radio can be heard using your wireless internet on your cell phone. You're listening to iWineRadio. iWineRadio is a production of Food Tastes Better with Wine on the web at iWineRadio.com. Hey guys, I thank you for listening to iWine Radio, and we are still the only wine channel on iTunes Radio. If you go look under iTunes radio icon and scroll down to News and Talk directory, and it's listed alphabetically, click on that and the stream comes up immediately. iWineRadio.com, where you can find links to individual guests. And if anyone's interested in advertising or becoming an underwriter or sponsor, please contact us at iWineRadio.com. We really, really appreciate your support. The more support we get, the more conversations I can have with fascinating people around the world, including you. If you have a story to tell that you'd like to share on iWine Radio, go to iWineRadio.com and contact us, and we'll go from there.